What's up, guys? We are the Duderes. Welcome back again to Anime Overload, and this time we're talking about Durarara Season 2. And this is episodes 5 and 6. You ready for this one?
Always.
Lots of stuff happened. Let's get to it.
Durarara Season 2, Episode 5. No one knows what the future holds. Isaiah opens this episode with him talking about human souls and how a person's soul can be bought for the right amount of money at one time, but is not for sale at another. He speaks on how people value human lives. While he can't 100% control them, he can give them a push one way or another. Namie, having been watching Isaiah's rant video on a tablet, tosses it aside and states that all people are rubbish, and only her brother Seiji is good and worth anything. A man in a hoodie is seen running out of a shop with a woman screaming after him. A man in a hat with bandages on his face appears and kicks the man in the face. It is revealed that this man is a shoplifter, and he has pushed around 3 women. Much to the man in the hat's dislike, for injuring one of the women, the man in the hat jumps on the shoplifter's legs, breaking them, while stating that no one should ever raise their hand to a woman. As the police arrive, the man in the hat's name is revealed to be Rokijo Chikaji, or Rochi for short. While Mikado is in the Dollars chat room, Masayomi contacts him, telling him to stay away from the Dollars for a while, and that he feels something bad is going to happen. Trusting his friend, Mikado agrees. While Shizuo is having lunch, a young girl appears outside the window of the restaurant. She looks at a picture she has of him and is happy to have found him. Confused by the young girl, Shizuo goes out to see what she wants. She simply smiles at him before saying, "Die," and shocking him with a stun gun. After being shocked with the stun gun, Shizuo runs away from the police with the young girl hanging on his waist. The episode closes with Rochi speaking to a very large group of his gang who have come seeking revenge against the Dollars, and Celty is attacked by a woman on a motorcycle. So what did you think of episode 5?
Episode 5, I got it because, like, Rochi, like, he is now one of my favorites, just because. I love him. I'm like, man, I like this guy already.
I actually thought you would dislike him simply because he was kind of, because of his fedora.
No. I mean, it's just, I hate the majority of people who wear fedoras. No, I liked him just because of his character. He felt, in a way, kind of fresh, I guess, compared to everybody else. At least male-wise, because there weren't a lot of cocky females compared to some cocky males, kind of like Isaiah's sisters. And the fact that Shizuo respects him and stuff, even though he beat the shit out of him.
Their meeting was entertaining.
Yeah.
He basically shows up, state that he wants payback for Shizuo beating up his, members of his gang.
Yeah.
And then Shizuo is surprised that he actually takes 4 of his punches.
Before he actually, no one ever does that. So, so he kind of gives him respect for that and, other stuff he says. But, I just liked it for his character introduction. The little girl, which we hadn't seen who she was because we've seen all these characters in the openings. We're finally, seeing all the characters that we don't know come into Ikebukuro. So she was interesting, but kind of weird in a way. But, they dropped her off at Shinra's apartment. And,
why does she want Shizuo dead is the big question.
That, it could be because she's heard something from the Yakuza, which I believe she's one of the guy's grandchild. Mm-hmm. So, maybe to make somebody happy or something, one of her family members happy. I don't know. So that's actually a really good plot point as, why would a child want Shizuo dead? So, I mean, this is quite a lot of Shizuo talk in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I felt that the show so far has been lacking him in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see that he's got a little bit more screen time other than to show up to punch somebody.
Well, I mean, that's what it was like in Season 1, to be honest. He wasn't really that prominent of a character in Season 1.
The one thing I was kind of wondering about this girl
mm-hmm.
is because she's in the opening, and I thought she kind of looked like Henri. She kind of does.
With the hair. With the hair, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that she was going to be related to her in some way.
Mm.
So I was really kind of thrown for a loop with the fact that she's not.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean the fact that they have really no idea what to do with her. When they're running away, and the fact that she is just held on to him for dear life.
Yeah. And two other things I want to bring up is the fact that it's back to the wacky storytelling we all know and love with the shows one thing in the future and then goes back to the past and then goes back to the present of what it actually is and stuff. So that's one of the things I absolutely love about Durarara is the fact that it's very complicated. It's on the verge of convoluted, but it does a good enough job of explaining how things are going on for you to figure out, this is how it happened, So there's that, and also how Masaomi knows that there's something going on with the dollars.
And that he doesn't give a lot of details, but it's nice to see that he's still looking out for Mikado.
Mm-hmm.
But he just says that he just has a gut feeling, and Mikado takes him for his word because he's never been wrong.
Yeah.
As far as his gut feelings. And, we see that he tries to lie to his girlfriend about his phone, and, she's like, no, you're lying.
Yeah. I mean, he might have heard something about Alba, through old Yellow Scars people. Who knows? I mean, or someone posted it online. So it's hard telling to see how it happens, but it's certainly interesting, and it's now because I think we can all agree that that's Alba he's talking about. That he is starting to stir up trouble within the dollars.
Well, I'm not sure if it's. I mean, we definitely see that Alba has some kind of agenda going on, but was he warning about Alba, or is he warning about the fact that there's this huge biker gang that just showed up in town to take care of the dollars?
Yeah, but I think he said watch out, because there's something in the dollars that's going on. So I mean, but yeah, and the final part is actually that biker gang. That's like a whole new thing. Like a whole new gang is now in Ikebukuro. So it'll be interesting to see what happens because he kind of had like a pep rally with them at the end there.
Yeah, and one thing I really like about Rochi as a character is that he does have this kind of moral code.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hurt women.
Yeah,
and that's what he told his gang is that anybody that hurts a woman is going to have to deal with him.
Mm-hmm.
And and we definitely see that he's a womanizer because he tries to take out 8 girls on a date.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like him. I'm like, man, this guy's a player. He's got a moral code, and he's he can take a punch from Shizuo no less. So, I mean, as for this episode, plot progressed well. We were introduced to new characters and new plot points. I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it's definitely a good 4. They were, the only thing that for this episode that we really aren't given a lot of information is who attacked Celty.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. Yeah. But it's obvious that she does not know what Celty is. She doesn't know that Celty's headless. I mean, it's clearly a lot of people around Ikebukuro. If you've been around long enough, they know that it's either a rumor or they've seen it themselves.
Yeah.
So we know Celty's fine, but it's like who could be trying to get Celty? So, but that should lead us into episode 6, right?
Yeah,
let's go.
Durarara, season 2, episode 6, A Crow in the Dark Night. Celty starts off by expressing her confusion on what has happened to her, while Shinra sits at home anxiously awaiting Celty's return. Shizuo comes to Shinra's place with the young girl in tow, to which Shinra assumes they have kidnapped her. A flashback of Celty's meeting with the gangsters reveals that the young girl trying to kill Shizuo is named Akusu Akane. Celty is tasked with finding her and protecting her as Akane has run away from them. In a karaoke room, we get our first good look at the woman that attacked Celty. While she and her male friend talk about cows, her name is revealed to be Verona, and the male is Sloane. Verona and Sloane have been hired to also track down Akane. Back at Shinra's, Shinra tries to get Akane to tell him her name, but she is running a fever and collapses. Meanwhile, Alba convinces Mikado and Henri to give him the tour they promised to when he first arrived. We then again see the attack Verona makes on Celty. After the attack, Verona makes her getaway and speaks to Sloane on a radio, telling him that she has killed the black bike. which she believes to be true based on the fact she saw Celty's body without a head. Mikado is sitting on his computer waiting to see if anybody joins the Dollars chat room, worried something may have happened to them. He is relieved when people begin to join. Celty is then shown back on her bike following a shadow trail that she attached to Verona's bike. Shizuo checks on Akane, who is sleeping. Izaya calls Mikado to speak to him about the possibility of a group of Dollars going rogue. Mikado has learned his lesson since the Yellow Scarves incident about whether or not the Dollars should have rules. The episode ends with Henri in her apartment. Her doorbell rings, and when she looks out to see if anyone is there, no one is there. She then slowly opens the door, only to have an unknown person thrust a pair of bolt cutters and cut the door's chain.
So, what did you think about what you saw in episode 6?
Well, we know who attacked Celty now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we see that, and that she clearly does not know that she's headless.
Yeah.
With Verona and her male companion Sloane.
Yeah. Who's a weird bird.
He's, they're talking about cows and
why do men have nipples?
Yeah, we can see that she's like really, really smart.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that they've been hired. We find out the little girl's name. Her name is Akane.
Mm-hmm.
So they've also been hired by a different individual to find her.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting in and of itself, to be honest.
Yeah. The person that hired them, I think, is the same guy that the Yakuza had a falling out with.
I think so. Yeah.
So is Akane really the daughter of a Yakuza? This guy's daughter?
Yeah, they could be getting her for ransom.
It definitely seems like this something is going on with this little girl, and these two groups are pulling at her.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know all the details yet, and that's a good thing. That was a good point. They haven't told us really what she's there for. She wants to kill, Shizuo for some reason. I still think it's the fact that she heard someone she overheard it herself, and she wants to go do it herself because he's causing either the Yakuza or this guy, this old man a problem, and she goes out and does it, and or something. But I guess it kind of changes things when there's two groups now looking for her.
Yeah.
So, really interesting plot point though.
I mean, we also see that they decided to take Shizuo took Akane to Shinra's.
Mm-hmm.
And
he still thinks the little girl was abducted.
I think that they've kidnapped her. But this turns out to be for the best because she's sick.
Yeah.
So, does she have a chronic illness, or is it just something that just happened here?
I mean, it was a crazy afternoon.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But we also, Shizuo decides to flick Shinra on the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't want to be flicked in the head by the guy.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't actually fling. I thought he was gonna go fly backwards, but I'm like, oh, okay.
I thought he was gonna knock him out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Celty, kind of, I guess, reevaluates what she's gonna do. She almost went back home too. And, and then we got different characters narrating now, because we've kind of, lacked narration a little bit here. And Namie did it last episode, and now, Celty's doing it this episode, which I've always enjoyed that. I've always enjoyed when characters, who really aren't in the story that much, talk about what's going on. Last season we had Simon do an episode, so, that's one of the other plot points that I'm glad they brought back.
I think Simon's kind of one of the characters. She showed up here and there.
We haven't seen him almost at all.
I know. I mean, he, come on, hand some flyers out. We need some Russian
sushi.
And Izaya, besides a phone call, I thought with him, a couple episodes ago, with him, his vacation being over, that he was going to be more prominent. And he's just kind of,
I think he's working in the background. That's going to something will happen next episode or something.
Something is going to explode with him at the center of it. But, we'll have to definitely see what that goes. But yeah, he makes that phone call to Mikado about, they're trying to figure out, what's going on. And, apparently there's a rogue group of Dollars, and they're going out and causing trouble with other gangs in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
And this is now bringing issues back into Ikebukuro. And it seems like a lot more people know exactly who is in the dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So how are all these people seemingly finding this information out?
I mean, a lot of people, it's shown that a lot of people brag that they're in the dollars because the dollars is so exclusive. Or it used to be.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was really... mainly because of, like, Isaiah, there was a huge influx of people because he was just kind of like, here, come to the website, come to the website, come to the website.
Mm-hmm.
Giving people information to do that. So, I mean, there's that, but, I mean, there's got to be someone else giving out information.
Yeah. I mean, for all we know, it could be Alba, because he clearly has something to do, or he has his sights set on the dollars.
But, I mean, as far as that, I mean, yeah, he could know, but he would have had, and, we haven't been shown that he actually...
Well, he knew Mikado was the leader.
Yeah.
So, in a way, I mean, he's clearly has his resources.
Yeah, so he's got to get that information from somewhere. It hasn't been shown, either him being in the Dollars chat room or anything like that yet. And that's kind of been our indicator of who is a member and who's not.
And
for the viewer, at least.
Speaking of him and the two twins have taken a back seat as well.
Yeah, I mean, the last two episodes, I mean, the twins have only really been prominent in the chat room sequences.
Yeah. Which is fine because we've got, other plot points going on right now. And now, speaking of which, with these two assassins, I don't know about the one guy, but, the girl clearly is. Which, them and themselves are interesting, so we'll see what happens. Because she is clearly heard about Celty, and she has some type of either grudge, or she just wants to find an actual, real rival,
It seemed like that she wanted to kill Celty simply to say that I took out the black bike.
Yeah, so, I mean, she sees her as a threat and as someone that she's like, wow. She must, when she saw the video, she's like, wow, I definitely want to go up against this person. So,
So, I mean, it was a great episode.
I knew that was gonna happen. I felt that in my bones. Okay.
It was a great episode. Every time Shinra's on the screen, it's a good laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell broke into Henri's?
Yeah. That cliffhanger
is about to die.
That cliffhanger. It's like I don't even know who that could be unless it's Hollywood.
See, I don't know. That would be crazy. I mean, that would be a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
But whoever broke into Henri's is seriously, if it's not someone super strong,
mm-hmm.
There's seriously her apartment's gonna need to be renovated.
Well, I mean, they just use bolt cutters. I mean, they couldn't be that strong.
I know, but seriously, that would be the stupidest. That would be the last place I'd want to break into. She's just gonna cut them to pieces.
We'll see. I mean, it could be someone who can't be affected by Psycha.
We haven't seen anybody like that though.
Do we know Celty? Celty might not be able to. Hollywood might not be able to.
Well, just a second. We do know that that Psycha has an effect on Celty because that's how the head was severed from her.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was stated in season 1.
I haven't seen it for a few years. So
Shinra's dad used Psycha to separate Celty's soul from the head.
Huh.
Maybe it wasn't her soul, but he used Psycha to basically cut the link.
All right. Well, I didn't know that. No, I don't know when that was stated. I guess it's something I overlooked or just didn't pay attention at.
It was during when we started learning about the Psycha sword.
Okay. So it was near the end because I haven't seen that in so long. I've seen the beginning, first 12 episodes, but the last 12, I haven't, seen nearly as much. Which I'm actually starting to rewatch over again just because I'm watching this and I'm like, I love this show.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's that. So we know that Celty in a way can be affected by it. I don't know that
but she clearly is not asking for mother now.
Yeah.
So
we're not sure that what all of Psycha's abilities are to begin with.
Yeah, she's evolving. clearly.
So,
but I mean, we'll leave the Psyche thing at that. So,
yeah.
With that, I believe that's the whole episode. Celty's still out there. The one chick doesn't know that. I feel like she's gonna see Celty at some point. So
she's following that shadow trail.
Yeah,
she's
basically
we'll see. This big long string.
Yeah. We'll see where Celty ends up with that. If she's gonna go kick her ass, or if she just wants to figure out who that was.
Yeah.
So what would you give the score of that episode?
This episode is going to get a 4.5.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I just don't think it was all the way up there, So I have to just give it a 4. I mean, nonetheless, a solid score.
Good. It was good.
Yeah, it was a good episode. So with that, we'll see what happens next week. But hey, that is again our episode this week. What did you think of Durarara? How's it doing so far? It's easily the most hyped up show of the season.
It is. So, as always, if you liked the video, please give us a like. You want to see more of this type of content, please give us a subscribe. And as always, we're on social media, both on Twitter and Facebook. Give us a follow and a like.
Yeah, you'll see those links in the description for you. But with that, I think that is everything. So we will catch you next time, okay? Let's see where she's at. No! Miku-chan.
Try to commit suicide. The diva life was too much for her.
You shut up. How dare you?